when you're on the land and you're farming, your life is full. I come here in 1979, October 1979, and it was meant to be a camp, a base camp. It was my wife. She was my girlfriend at the time. Was a mountaineer, and she wanted to go in the mountains in the winter. And this was up in the snow, and it was also a free place to be. Yeah. I guess we were, first of all, the whole feeling of being illegal, being on Crown land and not that's something we had to deal with, whether or not we were going to get eviction notice or whatever. And that kind of stayed with me for a few years, and then I got over that, and as I got over that, then I become more home, because I got more attached to the place now, and now this is it for me probably. Yeah. In 1979 I went to an old farmer in the cusp. Christopher Spicer. He was an old Englishman, and he'd been farming over there since 1948. He'd come back from the Second World War, and he was a veteran, and he got land over there, and he was a farmer in England, and he was a market gardener. And I went into his. I went to buy vegetables of him in 1979 because my girlfriend knew about him. And I walked into his farmyard on Halloween, and it was like going back 100 years. And I seen, his piles of onions and potatoes and cabbages and all this, and how he did things. And that's when I decided that this is what I was going to do. I wanted to go work for him, but he wouldn't have it. He was just so organized in his own system. But that's when I changed my mind about farming. That's when I thought, hey, I might do this someday. Yeah. If I have to have a motive for what I do, otherwise I'm totally lazy. If it's to take care of my own needs and I'm totally lazy. Even fixing my hands, I let things go too far before I'm not motivated that way. So what motivates me is working with other people, but it has to be not just. It has to have some meaning to it. Like if you go and work in a automobile factory and you put 4 bolts in a radiator, and that's all you know how to do, and you're dependent on being in a certain way with your superiors, otherwise you lose your job. You can't be real. If you have a mortgage, you have to say and do things that you don't want to do. And if somebody that has in that form, it limits a whole lot of things about you. And if you want to do other stuff, then you have to have exert. You have to have the willpower or whatever it takes to not go home and watch TV and drink beer, but do other stuff to give you like a life, eh? And I find that I have to get in the zone, eh? Like if I take a day off, that's probably the worst thing for me, because then I get to think. I do too much of it already, and the ideas I have and everything in the process of working are positive, but when I start sitting, then pretty soon, after about 2 days, I'm just waiting for the sky to fall. So a weak moment can stop you if you have a real life. just like a creature out there in the woods. If they have a weak moment, they're done. So it's only humans that can have that privilege. Saying, oh, I think I'll just curl over with a good book today. You know, it seems like a lot of work to people, and think about packing water and splitting wood and doing stuff, time consuming. That, and most people in today's world, they don't have time for all that effort and live their other lives. But you know, sometimes we have to go back and, you know, take another trail. You know, maybe that's where we're at. Maybe that's where the human race is at. Maybe to me, the biggest tragedy is that there's people today that they don't know why they're alive.